No. This is Manila Bulletin News on Web. Your quick rundown of top news in the country and around the world. Manila Bulletin, celebrating 120 years of timely stories and timeless truths. Be fully informed. Hi, I'm Barbie Atienza. This is MB Now, and here are your news on web. President Duterte has finally agreed to have himself inoculated in public to boost the people's confidence in the efficacy of authorized vaccines in providing immunity and protection from the infectious coronavirus disease. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque made the announcement as the Philippines await the arrival of the first batch of COVID-19 vaccines sometime this month. In his Monday presser, Roque urged the public to just wait for the president's announcement about when he will be inoculated. According to Roque, Duterte made the decision to ease the public's apprehension about getting vaccinated. Meanwhile, Roque said that some government officials have also expressed willingness to be among the first people to get the vaccine jab to boost the public's confidence. However, he appealed to the administration's critics to not make a big deal out of the said gesture because the government officials only want to help.
Well, I think the president has said that he will now have himself vaccinated publicly. He only has to announce when it will be done. And that's of course in recognition of the fact na nag-aantay ng senyales ang taong bayan, no? Kung talaga sila ay magpapabakuna o hindi. So I think that is a policy that we will now pursue. Sinabi na rin po ni Senator Bongo na ibang mga high officials should volunteer, and they have in fact volunteered. LGU mayors have said that they will volunteer to be first in line for the vaccination. Ang aking ine-emphasize lang, wag naman po kapag nauna mga namumuno ay sasabihin VIP na naman. Gagawin lang po natin yan dahil nga kinakailangan mapataas natin yung kumpiyansa na ating mga kababayan na magpabakuna, hindi po dahil sila ay VIP.
A total of 34 hospitals in the country will receive the first batch of 117,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccines from the World Health Organization-led COVAX facility due to arrive in the country this month. Department of Health or DOH Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergara said of these recipient hospitals, 35 are in the National Capital Region, 1 in Cebu, and 1 in Davao. Vergara also noted that all the 34 hospitals are eligible to receive the Pfizer vaccines, one of which is the Philippine General Hospital in Manila. PGH Director Gerardo Gap Legaspi expressed their readiness for the arrival of the vaccines. He also said that part of their preparation is the conduct of simulation exercises. Meanwhile, Malacanang announced that the coronavirus vaccines donated by China is already etched in stone. According to presidential spokesman Harry Roque, around 600,000 doses of Sinovac vaccines will be delivered to the country on February 23. The vaccine supply donated by the government of China must secure the local drug regulatory approval before it is distributed to the beneficiaries. Under the government's timetable, Roque said they aim to vaccinate 50 to 70 million Filipinos this year. The Philippine Red Cross has called on the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation to take immediate action on its request to include a saliva reverse RT-PCR test in the state health insurer's benefit package. PRC Chairman Senator Richard Gordon said he cannot understand why Philhealth is dragging its feet to take action on their proposed inclusion of the saliva RT-PCR test in the Philhealth package. while Department of Health Secretary Francisco Duque III has allowed the private use of the Saliva COVID-19 test, the PRC has not secured the approval of DOH Health Technology Assessment Council before they can launch such tests for public use. Head of PRC's molecular laboratory, Dr. Pauline Ubial, said the Philhealth has yet to act on their request. Since the PRC launched its saliva RT-PCR tests in late January, it has already served around 9,650 individuals. The Commission on Elections has so far received more than 1.3 million applications for voter registration for the May 2022 polls. Citing the data culled from its Election Records and Statistics Department, the COMELEC said a total of 1,339,346 applications for voter registration have been processed nationwide as of February 4. Last month, COMELEC Commissioner Rowena Guanzon said they are behind their 4 million target of new registrants. Due to this, the poll body extended the voter registration hours starting this week to help bolster voter registration turnout. The COMELEC said all offices of the election officer nationwide will be open to receive applications for voter registration from Tuesdays to Saturdays, including holidays, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The voter registration period will run until September 30, 2021. In Metro News, IATF allows deferment of cinema reopening according to the Metro Manila Council. San Juan City records most number of COVID-19 vaccination registrants in NCR. And vendors, including consumers, must sacrifice and strictly adhere to the price cap, according to Mayor Isko. More from this report.
The deferment of the reopening of cinemas has been allowed by the economic team of the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Disease. Parañaque City Mayor Edwin Olivares said on Monday. When asked if local government units were consulted regarding the matter, Olivares said the MMC had regular consultations with the IATF exec for the specific issue of reopening of the cinemas. He said that the MMC will have meeting with the Secretary of the IATF's economic team on Wednesday, and he said that MMC supports the opening up of the economy, but it could not sacrifice the health protocols. Last week, the government pandemic task forces allowed traditional cinemas in areas under the general community quarantine to reopen. San Juan City Mayor Francisco Zamora announced on Monday that the city of San Juan has 24,559 COVID-19 vaccination registrants, the highest in the national capital region. The mayor said the local government is aiming to inoculate 85,000 San Juan residents, enough to trigger herd immunity. Herd immunity is where a virus can no longer spread easily because enough people are already immune to it. Zamora had previously said that the city has already procured 100,000 doses from vaccine maker AstraZeneca, reserved 10,000 doses from Moderna, and expecting to receive more jobs from the national government such as Pfizer. San Juan City residents who may experience any adverse reaction to the COVID-19 vaccine will not have to worry about their medical expenses after the city government announced a 150 million medical assistance fund for this purpose. Manila Mayor Francisco Isko Moreno Dumagoso said producers, vendors, and consumers should sacrifice and strictly adhere to the price ceiling mandated by President Duterte. The local chief executive said the producers and vendors must follow the mandated price ceiling on selected pork and chicken product because those who will not comply will be held accountable. The Manila Mayor said the utmost concern is to protect consumers and their best interests. He also said vendors and producers should be grateful that they have managed to retain their job amid the pandemic.
Here are the top news in other parts of the country. Significant drop in illness recorded in Cordilleras due to health protocols. Phivolcs records 26 quakes and moderate steam emission at Kanlaon Volcano. And 3 miners, including 13 companion, killed in Davao City early morning fire. Here are the details.
The Department of Health in the Cordillera Administrative Region has recorded a significant drop in the number of several illnesses in January this year as compared to the same month in 2020. In its disease surveillance report, DOH data showed that from January 1 to 30, influenza-like cases dropped to 69 as compared to the 678 recorded in the same period last year. Typhoid and paratyphoid cases with 29 cases from 266 and dengue with 35 cases from 251. DOH Regional Director Dr. Ruby Constantino attributed the decrease in the number of illnesses to the observance of health protocols. Kanlaon Volcano has continued to exhibit slightly increased volcanic activity manifested by earthquakes and steam emissions based on Phivolcs 24-hour observation from February 14 to February 15. In its volcano bulletin issued on Monday, February 15, Phivolcs Monitoring Network has recorded 26 volcanic earthquakes and observed moderate emission of white steam-laden plumes 500 meters tall before drifting southwest and northwest. Phivolcs said Mount Kanlaon remains under alert level 1, which means the active volcano is in an abnormal condition but still at a low level of volcanic unrest. Phivolcs urged the public to be vigilant and refrain from entering the 4-kilometer permanent danger zone due to further possibilities of sudden and hazardous steam-driven or phreatic eruptions. An early morning fire in a residential house in Davao City killed 4 people including 3 minors on Monday, February 15. According to the Davao City Fire District, the fire occurred at Laverna Hills Subdivision in Barangay Cabantian at around 3:52 in the morning. The fire was declared out at 6:58 a.m. Chief of Operations Fire Inspector Shaira Borja said the casualties include a 19-year-old male, a 14-year-old female, and 2 8-year-old boys. Borja added that they are looking at electrical ignition as the cause of fire since the survivors said that they already noticed the fire smell the night before the incident.
In world news, Myanmar junta cuts internet as troops fire to break up protest. New Zealand orders city snap lockdown. And singles shopping baskets, a Valentine's Day hit in Hungary. Let's watch this report.
Myanmar cut internet service and deployed troops around the country on Monday in signs of a feared crackdown on anti-coup protests, hours after security forces fired in order to disperse a demonstration in the country's north. The junta has recently escalated efforts to quell a burgeoning civil disobedience campaign, which is demanding a return of the country's ousted leader Aung San Suu Kyi. Monday's internet shutdown came soon after live-stream images shared on social media platforms showed military vehicle and soldiers moving through some parts of the country. UN Special Rapporteur Tom Andrews said the junta efforts to rein in the country's burgeoning protest movement was a sign of desperation and amounted to a declaration of war against its own people. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern ordered the country's biggest city, Auckland, into a snap lockdown for the first time in nearly 6 months. The measure came after 3 members of Auckland family tested positive, with authorities concerned about the new and active infections as there was no obvious source of transmission. Almost 2 million residents were told on Sunday to stay at home from midnight, with school and businesses to close except for essential services. Ardern appealed to all the city's inhabitants to stay at home. A supermarket in Hungary has brought smiles to face and romantic opportunities to shoppers by providing shopping baskets for singles in time of Valentine's Day on Sunday. Shoppers entering the Ucsan store in Somor, east of Budapest, can choose a blue or pink basket with a single seeking mate sign. A sign above the stack of baskets reads, "Are you single? Use the singles basket so you can meet the one in your favorite store." After their success in Somor, similar baskets will be used in other Ucsan stores in Hungary on Valentine's Day.
In entertainment, former sweethearts, actors Joshua Garcia and Julia Barreto reunited in a music video of Paubaya by Moira De La Torre as it sent Twitter into a frenzy on Valentine's Day. The song was originally released in October 2020, but it was only last February 14 that the music video finally came out. The heartbreaking video shows the journey of two sweethearts whose relationship went wrong. Joslia, fans of the former sweetheart, said that the flashback scenes in the music video looked similar in real life when they were still in a relationship. They also said that both stars finally got a closure from their broken relationship. In their dialogue, both Julia and Josh asked forgiveness from each other as they moved on. They both apologized to each other and thanked one another for the good memories they have shared. In June 2019, Julia and Joshua confirmed that they were no longer a couple. That time, rumors about Julia being linked to actor Gerald Anderson were already flying. Almost 2 years later, Julia is still rumored to be in a relationship with Anderson, while Joshua is still single. Both Joshua and Julia remain friends. In sports, United States superstar Wesley So dealt world champion Magnus Carlsen another sound beating to rule the $100,000 Euro Opera Rapid of the Meltwater Champions Chess Tour on Monday. Tied at 2-all going into the last of their two-set, four-game finale, So went for the kill and pulled off a win on a victory and 3 draws in the final day to claim his second title in the tour and the $30,000 purse that went with it. Interestingly, both titles came at the expense of Carlsen, the reigning World Blitz, Rapid, and Standard champion, whom he also trounced in the Skilling Open in December last year. Editor Manny Pacman Pacquiao. Our Manila Bulletin desk editor Dennis Principe asks these questions and more. Catch the latest episode of Sports Chat tonight at 6 p.m. after MB Now, only here at the Manila Bulletin's official Facebook page. And those are the news on web today, February 15, 2021. For more news and details, get your copy of Manila Bulletin newspaper tomorrow or log on to www.mb.com.ph. You may also subscribe to have the day's latest news delivered to your inbox. I am Barbie Atienza for Manila Bulletin. Join us again tomorrow. This has been MB Now. Be fully informed.